We were so excited to welcome back Gigi Vogel, who is the founder of De La Heart, which is a lymphatic drainage, like at-home lymphatic drainage brand that we've been carrying on BSC for quite some time now. And today we really just dove into everything that has to do with longevity, vitality of the body, really focusing on lymphatic drainage, but also adding in a couple other modalities that you can try at home. But she's just she's like the lymphatic drainage girly. And it was just really nice to speak with her because she has so much wisdom. She also comes from the culture of it as well.
Yeah.
It was great. I love her. She's so sweet.
Yeah, she's very sweet. Like you said, Natasha, very passionate and also very approachable. So the way she presents her theories and her brand is really about baby steps and incorporating in good lifestyle habits that are going to help you to look and feel your best and really
Yeah.
be, you know, your overall vitality. And like you said, we brought in some different modalities of other things that you can do to habit stack in to look and feel your best. So yeah, it was a lot of fun and very interesting. And yeah,
Welcome to the podcast. Gigi, it's so good to have you back on the pod. Last time we spoke with you I feel like it was 2 years ago when we spoke everything about your brand, De La Heart. And today we're really going to focus on lymphatic drainage and all the different ways you can really optimize your health. So before we get started, I actually did want to mention I had my first ever lymphatic drainage massage, I think 3 weeks ago, four
me
weeks
too. I
ago,
have
and it
one.
was so amazing. And I don't know how I never did sooner. But for those who are listening, I really want to know, what is lymphatic drainage and what are the benefits for it on the body?
So, lymphatic drainage massage is the support, the manual support that you give your lymphatic system in doing the job that it's already supposed to be doing. However, unlike the circulatory system and the digestive system, the lymphatic system hasn't been so spoken about up until recently, where it became kind of like known in the beauty industry mostly because it has immediate beauty effects, meaning that probably after you had your massage, your tummy was super fat, your cellulite was visibly reduced, your arms were snatched, and you're like, oh my God, I just lost 2 or 3 pounds, right? So
Yeah.
that is the allure, and that's why lymphatic drainage became so popular. Um, and it has all those benefits, but it really has a much bigger function in the body. The lymphatic system is vital to our health, is vital to our immunity. It's vital to every other bodily function, because what it does is that they like to call it the sewage of the body, but I prefer it to say that it is like a collector. Its job is to collect the good and the bad, get rid of the bad, take it to the lymphatic nodes where it's excreted out of your body, and then it takes the good and brings it back into your bloodstream. So and that helps in the regeneration of cells. So what it does is that it brings all the nutrients that you eat, all the things, vitamins that you need in your body back into your bloodstream, and all the toxins and all the things that are not so great for you, and make sure to pump it away, dump it away from your vital organs, meaning it places in like your belly, places like your hips, like the back, anywhere where there are no vital organs. And these places are usually the ones that we as humans kind of like struggle with, right? Because we don't want the extra pockets of fat in those particular places. So the beauty of this massage is that it just enhances the detoxification pathway of your body. And that's what you're doing. You're supporting that. So it is very beneficial, obviously, for what you can see, but what you feel, and also how your health gets better and better with time, and how every other system in your body starts working better because of your optimal drainage. So the best way to stimulate your lymphatic system is through movement. So when you link breath and movement, because it is linked to the muscular and skeletal system, so anything that you're moving, like exercise, like going for a walk, like deep diaphragmatic breathing, um, bouncing on a trampoline, jumping rope, even just a little shake in the morning, that boosts your lymphatic system. The second best way is manual stimulation. And manual stimulation, as you probably know from getting your first massage, is not a deep tissue massage. You're working with the lymph, and the lymph lies right underneath the dermis. So when I see things on the internet, like people getting bruised or massaging and going really deep, that is no longer a lymphatic massage. That is something else. And what we did with Della Hart was being able to combine both principles, the principles from France in 1930s, where lymphatic drainage massage first came around, with that sculpting from Latin America, that beautiful way of kind of like snatching the body using body tools. So we kind of like created, as you know, our own little ritual that you can achieve with all these ancestral practices that mimic that massage that you get. And together they both work really well. I myself get one lymphatic drainage massage by my in-house therapist every week or every 2 weeks. And then I maintain using our tools at home. So what this does is that you're training the lymphatic system, kind of like when you go to the gym, right? If you go to the gym once a week, not much is going to happen.
No.
But if you start going to the gym 3 to 5 times a week, then you're really going to see a change in your body. So it's the same way with the lymphatic system. And then you start seeing how your digestion is better. Your energy levels are better because you're taking a burden away from all the big detoxifying organs like the liver, like the kidneys, and your body's not working that hard. So you're just getting more efficient at detoxifying yourself, which ultimately is what we need to do in the society of today, because we're exposed to so many different toxins, whether we want it or not. It's just the world that we live in. So our job is to just help our bodies detoxify quicker and more optimal. And that's why lymphatic drainage is a big, and it's getting bigger, not only in the beauty side and wellness, but also in health, because it goes so tight to overall optimal health.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, like, you talked about today's society. So if you're somebody that doesn't move a lot, or you have a desk job where you're just sitting all day long, I mean, this is where besides the manual process of using a tool or going for a lymphatic drainage massage, the only way for your body to get the lymphatic system moving is really through movement, right? So if you're someone who doesn't move a lot or can't move a lot for whatever reason,
then you should be massaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happens though with the lymphatic system when it's stagnant? What kind of things can happen to the body or that people can see when the lymphatic system is not?
Well, you start seeing how you're more bloated. You start seeing how you're retaining water. You start seeing how you're not peeing as frequently. You're not digesting great. Your skin starts breaking out. You have this like yellow tone to your skin because all the toxins are within. You start seeing inflammation. So what we call inflammaging, where people look older just because they're inflamed. And you start seeing, instead of having like really beautifully snatched jawlines and cheekbones, you start seeing like thicker necks and just a lot of cellulite, a lot of fat deposits, tiredness, fatigue. So it has really serious symptoms that you can spot right away, and you may think that something is wrong with you. And the reality is that we are a body of water, and if you compare the body to a river, which is also a body of water, a river that is stagnant is gross. It has bacteria growing in it. It has little frogs. It has all this dark water. versus a beautiful river that is flowing from the mountain where salmon is jumping and you have all this clear water that you can drink. So that's why when we educate our community and our customers, we talk about the flow. If you're in the flow, there is health, there is movement. So that's why you always have
Vitality.
there's that vitality. You're aging better, your digestion better. Your cravings are different, right? You stop craving that really processed food and you start going towards things that allow that flow to keep going. And so that's why we always say, that we have the flow and glow body oil. We always want to make sure that we're, even with different scents like eucalyptus, different blends like of herbs like rosemary, dandelion, little things that you can even eat and drink, herbs that help your lymphatic system flush, because that's what you want to do. You want to keep flushing.
Keep it moving. Yeah, for sure. You talked about something before, and I wanted to kind of demystify it or like talk a little bit about it. Movement, or like bouncing, jumping. And I've seen this thing that people are doing this
Trampoline?
rebounding all over the place. Is
Yeah.
that rebounding got to do with the lymphatic?
Yes, actually,
Okay.
yeah, because like I said, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So anything that you can do to just shake it off and kind of like wake it up, the bouncing is great. Jumping, just shaking, in the morning, if you don't have time to do the whole thing, you can just shake and let it go. And this also energetically, this just moves things energetically. So,
So
um,
I'm connecting dots because I was recently in Indonesia and Bali, and I met some people there
yeah,
that told me there's this retreat in northern Bali where a lot of people go who have been, so they're terminally ill, but there's no other alternative treatments for them. And basically it's a jumping, it's where you go and you shake.
yeah,
And
yeah,
all they
and
do
that's,
in this retreat is they shake. They
yeah.
shake their
And,
body.
if you go back in ancient cultures, all the dances, and you can go around the world, the tribal dancers, the ancestral cultures of how they praised gods, they all involve some sort of stepping and shaking and bouncing. And, in a body that is constantly moving, there's no way that disease toxins can stick because they're just going to be
They
shaken
move
away.
out.
Yeah, you want to move it out. So, that's where the I need to shake this cold saying
Yeah.
comes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
So it is
Interesting.
very valid, and wow, that's so interesting that there is such a place.
Yeah, because it's like, I just understood it's for people that are terminally ill. They don't want to do any more of the chemo or radiation or alternative therapies. And this place, a lot of people come out of it with a healed health, from what I understand. Obviously not making any claims on that, but that's just something that I learned when I was there. And I thought it was fascinating, and I didn't really understand why. And
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
having this
No,
conversation.
I jump with my kids on the trampoline. And when they say, "Mommy, you want to play?" I'm like, "Well, it's really hot here in Miami." But then I'm like, "Yes, you know what? Let me just shake my lymphatic system. Let's go jump
Yeah,
there with my kids."
and
So
very
That's really,
interesting. I did.
vitality also is really
yeah.
good for your joints to have that bouncing and for your
Muscles
muscles.
too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What
Very good.
other lifestyle habits do you recommend that also sort of support the circulation, detoxification, and vitality of your body?
So the first thing, and when you're going to start working with detoxification, you have to make sure that all the drainage pathways are open. So if you have a problem, a digestive problem with constipation, that is the first thing that you have to fix, because you don't want to go and start moving toxins around and then them not be able to exit your body. So you kind of have to build from the bottom up.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing would be taking care of your digestion. If you have any gut problems, making sure that you do an elimination diet and get rid of, all the processed foods, all the gluten, all the allergens that may be not working for you. And then you start moving up and you start working with movement. So I would say the first thing is, even if it's a walk around the block, 15, 20 minutes, just go out there and be a little active. You can shake in the morning. I like to do like 100 jumping jacks in the morning when I don't have time to go for a workout or something. And that, gets my heart racing. Yeah, I jump. It's good for my joints. It's good for my lymphatic system. Being active, drinking a lot of water, making sure that your water is charged or that you're working with some sort of electrolyte that is giving you the sodium, the magnesium, and the vitamin K that you need. And then I would say manual stimulation is huge. So if you have the privilege of getting a professional lymphatic massage, going to a place, having this person really work for and turn on your lymphatic nodes and help you kind of like move the lymph in the right direction. Do that at least once or twice a month if possible. And then just work with your tools at home. Dry brush every morning. It's a ritual that takes 25 seconds, and it boosts the lymphatic system, it turns on the nodes, it exfoliates your skin, it removes all the dead skin cells and what our bodies detoxify through the skin. We have millions of dead skin cells just lying on our skin. And if you're dry brushing daily, again, you're taking a burden away from your organs. So your organs are not working as hard. And all of a sudden you have more energy. All of a sudden you're sleeping better. All of a sudden your skin and your breakouts clear up. All of a sudden your hair is healthy because now the body is not constantly working to fight. And now it's like, okay, let me work to make you optimally healthy and not just to keep you alive. So there's two ways that we can work with our bodies. And I always want to be working towards that optimal health. And that's, that feeling that you were saying when you got your first massage was how I became fascinated with the lymphatic system and lymphatic drainage massage because I was already doing all the things. I was already super active. I already was eating a healthy diet. I was doing Pilates, yoga, but I still felt sluggish. I still felt heavy. I was still bloated. I still felt like, when I would I would do the lymphatic test and you could see that I was retaining liquid. And I was like, oh my God, what is happening? And it was just the lymphatic system was a little stagnant and it needed a little push. And then all of a sudden, my eyes cleared up, my skin cleared up. And that's when I said, wow, everybody needs to experience this feeling. This is insane.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I know, like, especially when I finished, I found that even my shoe size, like my shoes were kind of like floppy on me, like as if I lost like a shoe size or I don't know. It was
your rings kind of like fall, like come out easier. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy because, like I said, we're water. And when you're moving water, then you start seeing that you're a little bit more toned, that you look a little more sculpted. And even when I go to the beach, right, and I do my lymphatic massage before, you can see a before and after difference because all you're getting rid of is of the excess toxins that are hiding behind that fluid, inside that fluid.
When it comes to a moisturizer, one of my favorites is the SkinCeuticals Triple Lipid Restore. This anti-aging and hydrating cream is my go-to for comfort and restoring the skin barrier. With a powerful blend of essential lipids, it's perfect for all skin types, even acne-prone, leaving the skin feeling softer, smoother, and rejuvenated. It's like a spa day in a jar, delivering next-level hydration and radiance. If you haven't tried this product yet, I highly recommend it, especially as we move into the colder months. If you want to try this product, go to beskinenvy.ca, that's spelled BSKINENVIE.ca, and use code SKINTALKS to get 10% off your first order.
I think it's interesting because like we always like everybody always talks about the skin, like on your face, your skincare, all that stuff. And for some reason, like you just brought up dry brushing and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't dry brushed in so long, but I have it at home. And I'm like, why is it the body somehow in a way like forgotten? Like for some reason, like we always preach skincare and then sometimes we always like I feel like a lot of people forget that there's also skin on the body and that it's just as important. And like you said before, it helps your organs and everything. So there's like not just to like keep your skin tight and hydrated, but there's actual like benefits to everything else in your body when you help your like your organs kind of relax and not have to work so hard. Just
Wow.
interesting how we
It
always
is
sort of
It
forget.
is it is fascinating, and that's why I have become so adamant about changing that about the skin on our bodies because
Mhm.
even some of my friends they put they buy the $400 cream for the face and they're using some shitty oil from the pharmacy that
Yeah,
is filled with
shit.
things that
Toxins.
are bad for them. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
why would you do that to yourself? Like, why can you? Oh, it's great. I'm like, no, it's not great. Look at all these hormone disruptors that this thing has, right?
Yeah.
So, changing that of how we view the skin on our bodies, because sure, obviously our faces are very important, but let's not forget about the neck. Let's not forget about the chest. That's going to give your age away, your knees, your
Yeah.
elbows, your hands. Like let's keep that alive. Your legs, the sagginess of your skin. So it is very real that their skin, like you said, all over your body that you need to love the same way. So, a $60 beautiful oil that is hydrating, that it's toning, that is moving lymph, that is doing all these beautiful things for your body is not expensive when you think of how many long-term benefits this
Yeah.
something like this has.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I wanted
Definitely.
to ask you, so we talked about movement and the lymphatic system um, to enhance detoxification, circulation, but what about things like red light therapy or cold plunging? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm a big fan of both. I do both very often. I love the cold plunge. I have learned how to use it as a woman. I do it with my cycle, so I only do it in the times where there is an estrogen spike, which is in the first 10 to 14 days, excluding the ovulation time,
Mhm.
where your estrogen is really high and your body is very resilient. So it's that week where you feel great, where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm hot, like I got it going on. That is the week where you should be cold plunging. And I love to stack habits. So I dry brush to activate the lymph, jump a little, do a little jumping jacks, and then I get in the cold plunge. And the temperature change is a complete shock to your system. So it sends you in this autophagy where your body is just repairing, right? Your body is like, okay, we are in danger. Let's get whatever's wrong out. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like repairing what's not working and getting rid of everything because it thinks that you're in this like big stress. Then you come out and you have this rush of adrenaline going through your body that is a shock to the entire system, and also to the temperature change shocks your lymphatic system. So it is great to layer that with your tools, with your sculpting. Make sure you hydrate after. It's unbelievably tonifying. It's anti-aging because the cold keeps your skin plump. And if when I want to wake up in the morning, I just go and dump my face in the cold plunge and immediately like pull
Yeah.
back. So it is great. And red light, I also love, again, another way of scientifically proven way. And there's a lot of data and there's a lot of research that this is just not another wellness trend.
Yeah.
This is actually red light is really beneficial. I had eye surgery last year, and one of the lights that I had to do for my post-op was red light. So it is very beneficial to your eyes. Your eyes, obviously you're not looking at it straight, but if you absorb it, even with your eyes closed and the protection, a lot of the nutrients that go in your brain and to your cells come through your eyes. So your eyes are very important. So when you're looking at this red light, whether it is a panel or the natural red light at sunrise and at sunset, you're getting these benefits into your body. Again, anti-aging, repairing at the cellular level, helping with mitochondria health, and just helping you clear your body from any potential pathogen. It's also alkalining to the body. So I also love doing that, especially for my face. I've been doing it. I got a panel last year, almost a year ago, and I'm obsessed. I meditate in front of it. I dry
Yeah.
brush my face before I sit in front of it. So I make sure to get rid of all the dead skin cells so that the light is really penetrating. And then I go and do my whole skincare routine, and it just stacks really nicely with if you're doing other things. It's really, really great. Energy wise, it enhances your sleep, you're resting better, you're healing better, your scars, sunspots. So yes, I love both. And if
So
you can put
would you prefer, like, because there's obviously these red light masks that you can put on, right? Like you said you have the panel. You think the panel is better than a mask, like in your day-to-day life, or what do you think on that?
I have both. I have both.
Okay.
I think if you can incorporate and whatever works for your lifestyle, then do it. I love the mask because sometimes I'll be watching a show or reading a
Yeah.
book and I just put the mask on and I turn it on and I'm like multitasking. I feel productive. Um, the good thing about the panel is that it's a full body
Okay, so yeah.
situation. So you're getting the red light in every single part of your body, and I sit in front of it naked sometimes. But the mask is great. I travel with it. I put it on the plane. People think I'm a little crazy, but
That's
I
fine.
got to do
You
what
do
I
you.
gotta
Yeah, I
do.
keep seeing this panel like more and more. I remember like red light masks have been around for such a long time.
Yeah,
But it's
they're
now
having
that
a
I've started
moment.
to see the
Well,
panel.
yeah, they're having a moment because I think that I think that consumers, particularly wellness and beauty consumers, are very savvy and very educated. And now we have so much access to information. You ask ChatGPT, is this real? Does this work? Right? And it's
Yeah.
going to tell you everything that you need to know. So now that there is research, now that there is science behind it, um, the things that are really working and that are real products and that are not just a fad and are not just a do where there is purpose behind it. Those are the products that are having a moment, and those are the rituals and the companies and the brands that are sticking around, the ones that
Yeah,
are
definitely.
actually working and changing your health.
What
Yeah.
about, I wanted to ask you about infrared or saunas, hammam, they call them, hammam saunas, which are more the steam saunas, dry saunas, and then you have the infrared. What are your thoughts on all that?
I love a sauna. I don't have one, but it's very, very good for women. It is again another excellent way to boost detoxification. To It's a biohacking anti-aging tool. It balances our hormones. So actually, women do better with heat because of our physiology. We do better with heat than with cold. So the saunas are great. If you can get an infrared one, that's great. If you can get the Finnish traditional one, that one's also amazing. So whatever you can get your hands on, I think it's only beneficial. And if you are doing so safely and within, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, for
helping
sure.
yourself.
But would you say that there's ever too much of anything that you can do, like in terms of lymphatic drainage? Can you ever overdo it, or is there
You
things that
can,
people should be
you
careful of?
can. I think, um, you have to do a little bit of something every day. But if you're doing too much of it, you can definitely back it up. And I know because this happened to me. I'm Colombian, and in Colombia, because of the currency exchange, a lymphatic massage is like, I don't know, $30. So when I'm there, I was getting one every day, like a full 90-minute one every day. And then when I got on the plane to come back, I noticed that my lymph nodes were actually really swollen. And I started getting scared. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm getting sick. Like, why are my nodes so swollen? I'm always feeling my lymph nodes. Like, I know too much now. And I realized that I kind of like overworked it because I was pushing way too much fluid, way too fast, that they were a little backed up in the way that they were leaving my body.
Okay.
So I would say that you kind of have to maybe not do like a 90-minute lymphatic massage every day. Maybe do once or twice a week. And then the next day, maybe you dry brush. And then the next day, you do your sculpting tool with the body tool. And then on Sunday, that you have a little bit more time, you do the whole ritual. But yeah, I wouldn't suggest that you
Spacing
get
things out.
Yeah, spacing for sure.
Spacing things out. Yeah, not overdoing it. But what about, I have another question since I'm curious on all these things, but what about cupping?
I am not a fan of cupping, and this is an unpopular opinion, but I stand by it because I don't like anything that pulls my skin. I
Yeah.
have been pregnant twice before, and I have seen how your skin can lose elasticity once it's stretched past a certain point. So I don't like to pull my skin away from my body. I prefer to drain and sculpt and everything that is has a little bit of gravitational pressure towards my skin, but I don't like to pull skin away from my bones.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that with cupping before, but I know for me, I mean, it's a completely different subject. I always, when I find out people are waxing their eyebrows or upper lip or anything, I'm like, don't do it, because if you're doing that
Sure.
every month throughout and you're pulling, your eyes are eventually you're just
Yeah, you're
exacerbating.
gonna have to get the eyelid surgery at some point.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you about being gentle with stuff. And also I think just being intuitive with how you feel when you're doing something is very important. But I love this conversation because I love the fact that there's things that you can do within your everyday life that have so much benefit on wellness and really just our vitality. Because I find with the way the world is today, our lifestyle, stress, even nutrition and all that being compromised through not enough minerals being in our food and we're not absorbing things properly. Anything that we can do to facilitate and help feel better and be more well. I think it's amazing. And I think there's a lot of information out there that people just don't know, where you go into these age-old healing techniques instead of doing something, kind of being in it, has a real big benefit on how we can live our lives,
Absolutely. And a lot of these things don't cost a lot of money. They don't take a lot of time. So they're very accessible and inclusive. And that's what I like to focus on bringing these effective, easy, accessible rituals to people's hands so that they can feel and look great without breaking the bank or feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think it's a little steps in, like, even like you said, like pacing yourself and like spreading things out so it's not always so overwhelming. And then going back to habit stacking, like if you're just going to start dry brushing and then eventually you're going to start this, like you just don't overwhelm yourself so much with, because there's so many things to do all the time and we're already so bombarded with so much stimuli. But when you just like look internally and then kind of start from scratch and then just build yourself up, like you're bound to have success in whatever it is that you want to achieve, right?
And always forgive yourself, right? If you fell off the wagon and you were on vacation and you did zero, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You get back and you start with one thing, and maybe you start drinking water, and maybe you call a friend and go for a walk, and then you walk by your store and you pick up a dry brush, and you can build from it and always come back. It's always there. So I often see that people are like, oh no, it's too much. I just do nothing. No, just don't give up. Forgive yourself, but know that these rituals are here to help you look and feel better.
I love that. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think we need that kind of thing today, just to bring awareness around it. And again, like you said, baby steps, one day at a time, doing a little bit every day. And so we have one life to live, so we need to feel as best as we can in it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
I learned a lot, and I really appreciate the time that you took to give us today for this episode, to bring awareness around this subject. And also, you have a beautiful brand, De La Hart. We're very proud to be carrying it at Boutique Skin Envy. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you. I'm so passionate about this topic, and it is my honor, and I was so excited to talk. So whenever you guys have questions, I'm here.
Okay,
Amazing.
thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye. You too.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please take a moment to rate, review, and follow us on social at Skin Talks Pod. We'll see you next week.